talking money. We're talking starting of the new year right with our finances and increasing, getting more money, and knowing where to place our money is a very big question. I think after domestic debt exchange program, everybody has been some type of way about where do you place your money, how do you invest your money, is it even worth investing? Should you not rather buy land than or start doing a mortgage as against investing in something? But I'm excited to have this conversation on how we can be able to save money in easy, quick ways. But first and foremost, making healthy financial decisions in 2026. Why is it important to take control of
our listeners? I think it's really important that we take control of our finances for many reasons. But for me, the thing is, if you do not control it, financial indiscipline is really costly. Now, I always say this, that nobody is really coming to save you. And there are a lot of things that are really outside of your own control. And so controlling your finances is one of the ways that you can actually take back a bit of, okay, this is me, this is where I want to get to, this is how I intend to run my life. One of the things that always comes up is inflation. And always inflation silently eats your wealth away. And so being able to sort of control, okay, the income that's coming in, how much you are spending, because if you don't do that, you can earn more money, but it will not translate into better living for you. So it's really important that from the get-go, you are able to then manage, control your finances, then you can be better at what you do over the period.
I like that. Now, what's the first step? 2026, new year, new me, new financial goals. We want to buy a house, we want to buy a car, we want to do these large financial transactions. How do we take the first step towards securing that future?
I think that one of the key things is that before you even think about how to make progress, the first thing is awareness. You see, it's like you going on a journey without knowing your destination. So for me, it's okay, where are you currently? What is the money that's coming in? What are you actually spending the money that's coming in on? So if before you think of the next step, you need to know where you actually are. So the first step about making these big financial decisions, it's not really about saving, it's not really about investing, it's really about knowing where you are. So for me, beginning of year, I think the first thing you need to do is take a bit of accountability, or a bit of knowing where you've come from, your income, what you're spending your money on, and what are the patterns that repeated over the year. Maybe you spend so much money on food, spend so money on maybe transportation, whatever it is, then you can know the next step. So for me, the first step is really about awareness.
First step is awareness. Awareness of how, but in terms of awareness, sometimes people don't even keep track of their spending.
Exactly.
Now, how do you, to be able to know where you're leaking money, you need to know how you're spending your money. How do you figure out and track your expenditure?
So again, same analogy. If you want to know, of course, you have to know your destination from the get-go. And for me, it's where budgeting comes into play. Because if you don't know where you're pushing your money to, you will not be able to even track it in the first place. You understand? So if you want to track your money, it's first, okay, what are you allocating to, say, food? For instance, okay, I allocated 100 cedis to food. I spent 500 cedis on food. Then I know, okay, there's a disparity between what I planned and what I actually spent. Because if there's no benchmark to mark what you spent, then what are you really tracking? So for me, even before you think of tracking, you need to first think of budgeting the money. And I'm sure I'll speak on budgeting into details, but it's really about planning ahead with your money, where your money should go. Direct your money, okay, your money should go into food. And I always say that treat budgeting as you prioritizing the things that matter to you. So for example, you have 1,000 cedis. What are the things that matter to you? Is it probably going back to school? Is it paying maybe your children's school fees? Is it maybe the food? Is it transportation? Is it your goals that you have for yourself? So think of budgeting along those lines, that, okay, I'm using budgeting to prioritize the things that matter to me. And that's how you can think of, okay, tracking, okay, this is how much I spend, this is what I can do better. So for me, to track, you need to first budget. And there are many ways you can budget.
How?
One, you can use Excel sheets. I know when you talk about Excel sheets, it becomes...
Not everyone knows how to use Excel sheets.
So what you can even do is that you can take your own, a notebook, anything. Budgeting is simply your income, expenses. Income means the money that's coming in. So maybe your salary, your side hustles, your commissions you earn. Then your expenses, what you spend your money on. So 1st January, you anticipate that end of month, they'll pay you, say, 3,000 cedis. That's your income. Then you list your expenses. It's always recommended that you start with the things that you need first. So, for example, you can't say you won't pay your children's school fees.
Right.
You can't say you won't eat. You can't say probably...
you won't get transport to get to work.
Exactly. Even for some people, it's data. Because they are always on maybe social media, influence or whatever it is. So you put those things that you need first. And that's why I said that when it comes to budgeting, it's really about designing what really matters to you. What are your priorities? Once you take care of those things first, then you can go into your expenses. But I always tell people that usually what happens is that after taking our expenses, we end up getting zero as our balance. So I always tell people that take your investment out first
before you start
doing all of those things. And so I'll speak on investments later. But before you budget, take out your investment a portion, then you go to your fixed expenses, then you go to your variable expenses. Yes.
Now, impulse buying or impulse payments versus spending versus intentional spending, there's a difference.
Yes.
What is the difference?
So you see, the impulse buying is where you say that this thing, I deserve it. You know that, okay, you're in the moment, you want to enter shopping mall, you see this nice phone. Charlie, I work too hard not to
have something nice for myself.
Exactly. So it's like something that you've not planned for, and then you are spending on. If it's intentional, usually it is planned. It fits in your purpose or your plans for the year. It aligns with your goals, and so I always tell people that to know the difference, you can just pause and say that if I buy this item today, will it still matter for me in the next month? So that will help you shop. Okay, is this an impulse buy or it's an intentional buy? Most often than not as well, impulse buying tends to be emotional. Charlie, you see this nice. Charlie, if I get this thing, it would be nice, Papa. But it's really something that you don't really need. So if you can survive without it, if you can do without it, and if in that moment it screams urgent, but it's not really urgent for you, then it can be an impulse buy for you. Yeah. But for intentional spend, it has to really align with your goals and your purpose. Yeah,
I like that. All right, now coming to how we can build a habit of saving.
Yeah,
because sometimes your take-home pay doesn't take you home.
Where does it leave you, AJ?
It leaves you at the front of the office. So by the time you would take out your transportation or your petrol, your rent, your school fees you're paying for your kids, feeding, data, electricity, water, there's very little left.
Yes.
Now, how do you cultivate a habit of saving when you know that the amount you're even getting is not enough?
So I'll answer this on multiple levels. And first to say that, you see, AJ, if I put you somewhere, right, you would probably be earning, or not probably, you are earning multiple times than many other people, right? There are people on the call probably earning 100 cedis, 1,000 cedis. There are people probably earning 10,000 cedis on the call or on this show now. Now, it would be interesting that a person earning 10,000 cedis says the money is not enough. Probably a person earning 1,000 cedis will probably be saying that this is also not enough.
Yes.
And so, for me, I understand. I always say that it's really about knowing where you are. Now, if you keep waiting for maybe the next break, when I get double my money, it'll be enough. I just want to dispel that it may never truly,
because your taste also increases over time as soon as the money increases.
Exactly. And so I want us to be aware that the enough may never truly be enough. But it's fine. I always say that if you want to really save, think of saving as a habit rather than on the amount. And what do I mean? I don't think it's realistic that for somebody who has 1,000 cedis or who earns 1,000 cedis to save 100 cedis per month. But if you tell the person that, okay, save 5 cedis per month, I think over time you want to build. So for me, it's really about building the habit. And I always tell people that it's not really about the amount. It's not saving 1,000 per month. If you earn 1,000, I can't tell you to save 1,000 per month. If it is 5 cedis, 10 cedis, if maybe you're a trader, for instance, at Makola, and you say that every day I want to save 5 cedis per day. over a year, you get more than 1,800 cedis. Do that over 10 years. How much are you thinking of? So don't think of savings as the biggest of amount. Think of the habit, because truly, the enough may never be enough. And for me, I know this because I've lived it
a few times. Yeah. Okay.
You have to think about, in terms of the habit, small, little by little. Then over time, as you have built the habit, as you get more money, you should be able to then increase that that amount to your savings and then to your investments. Yes.
How do you strike the balance? How much to spend versus how much to save?
Yeah.
Is there like a formula where you say, okay, 10%, yes, 2%, 5%, 1% is what you will save as against spending 90%?
Yeah. So one of the things that I really like saying is that personal finances is personal. Again, people like me would tell you that there are formulas that help you to structure your finances. So for instance, there's the 50-30-20 principle, which says that put 50% of your money into your needs, 30 into your wants, and 20 into your savings and investment. Somebody earning 1,000 cedis, the 20%, 200 cedis per month will probably not be realistic for them. So I always tell people that first, after having done your budget, you'd realistically know how much you can save. And so for me, I think of it as what you can do consistently. Like I keep saying that. So if it's 5 cedis, 5%. If it is 1%, if it's 2%, 10%, you can only know this if you've drawn your budget and you've done it well. So for me, it's recommended that 20%, 30%, fine. But for me, if it's 5%, you can do constantly, do 5%. If it's 10%, you do more. The hack is that if you're able to control your wants or your impulse buying stuff, then you can have a bit of room to grow your savings and investment. So if it's 5%, 10%, 20%, please do. I remember a few years ago, I was doing 50%. But if you ask me today if I can do 50%, responsibilities don't change. So I definitely can do it.
You can't tie to your belt that way anymore.
Yes, I can't do it anymore. So now, if 5% I can do, I do it and do it religiously. Yeah, that's how it is.
Common budgeting mistakes people do. What are some of the you're doing it wrong, but you can't help it?
Yes. So the first thing that comes to mind is that most often than not, we try to budget in our head. So many people, this is what they do. When the salary comes, this is how they shake their head. Left, right. They shake their head left, right, center. Okay, this month, I have to do this, I have to do. So they usually don't pen anything down. Because, and that's why I say that even your notebook or an Excel sheet, there's so many budgeting apps. Now for digitally savvy people, there's Spendy, there's Wally, there's Buddy. There's so many of them that would work for you. But I always say that the common thing is that you first have to write it down. What gets measured can get tracked, for instance. And so if you write it down, you're able to know, okay, this is how much I can realistically do, this is what I can't do. Another mistake that we also do is that we often set an overly tight budget. And so if it's 1,000, I'll budget the whole 1,000. I only leave, let's say, some 50 cedis to maneuver here and there. You need to leave a bit of room for emergencies, for miscellaneous. Because I always say this example. Every day I'm taking Trusty to work. One day, and I think it's happening now, you go to Medina and there's so much, there's so many people there.
Yesterday I was driving home and the crowd.
Exactly. And you probably have to take, say, a ride hailing app home, for example. And you have to now spend double of your transport. All of a sudden, your budget is out. So I always tell people that don't overly set a tight budget. Leave room for miscellaneous. So let me give you this experience. So our estate, right? We contribute to buying the fixtures and fittings, the lighting. Then there was a power surge. The following day, everything we bought had gone. So imagine, and this happens even on a regular day, where maybe you're even driving, and all of a sudden somebody hits your car, maybe somebody falls sick. So you need to leave a bit of room.
Yesterday.
Do you have a story to tell?
Yesterday, oh my God, I was driving home, and then my car starts acting up.
Exactly.
And now this morning I'm at a mechanic shop.
Exactly. So you need to leave a bit of room, and I'm sure I'll speak on the emergency fund later on, but I think you need to leave a bit of room to maneuver some of these things. And also another important thing, if you want to budget and budget well, is that please the little things, the data we spend on, our Netflix subscription, whatever small things that come to your mind, put it in there, because it's money that is leaving your pocket anyway. So those are the 3 things: budgeting in your head, overly tight budget, and not incorporating the little things, the offer sheet that you gave, everything put in your budget.
I like that. I like that. All right, now healthy financial goals to set for the year 2026. What kind of healthy financial goals should we all be aspiring to, whether you are earning 500 cedis or earning 50,000 cedis?
AJ, you see, I'll use your example about just the car thing to speak on an emergency fund. I think that is one thing that it should be a goal for everybody this year. Now, it's often recommended that you need to have 3 to 6 months of your living costs in an account that you can have easily access to.
But 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months.
Wow.
But the thing
what
is,
about that living paycheck to paycheck?
The thing is, I always tell people that it probably will not be realistic to build that in a year. So probably build that over time. So this year, you can commit that every month, I want to commit 2% or 3% of my, or even 5% of my monthly income to my emergency fund. I think that's because, again, like you said, you don't know when that emergency would happen. And so it's really important that you plan or you have that emergency fund going. Another important goal that people should have, and AJ, when you were speaking at the beginning, you mentioned that people don't want to invest anymore. Please, let's start investing consistently this year. And so, for instance, you can say that this year, every month, I commit 50 cedis to this investment account for this year. So we need to start investing consistently. So those are the 2 goals that I think I would recommend to many people. The emergency fund and investing consistently. And like I said, not big money,
just something small.
Something small that you're putting aside for the future.
Now let's come to investing. Beginner-friendly investment options, because sometimes you see the options, maybe I don't have this much money, or I don't know if I can access stocks or bonds. What are some of the beginner-friendly investment opportunities that are available?
Before I speak on that, I always tell people that it's important that they read a little bit about these investments. Sometimes you also have to consult an advisor about some of these investments, because there's so many things, there's so many information out there, and you may hear some really nice investment, but it may not necessarily speak to what you're looking for. And so I always tell people that please always read a little bit, consult if you have to before you take some of these investment opportunities. But easy ones to do. The first one is, of course, if you want to lend your money to government, and that's buying treasury bills.
Okay, treasury bills.
Treasury bills, yes.
They didn't get haircuts.
Treasury bills. Now, treasury bills is simply where you are giving your money to government. So you go to a bank and tell them that, okay, I have 1,000 cedis. Usually that's where it starts from. 1,000 cedis for either 3 months, for 6 months, or for 1 year. And then they would take that money from you, and at the end of the 3 or 6 or 9 months or even 1 year, they will pay the money back to you. So that is the first thing. Usually, the T-bill rate is usually published by the Bank of Ghana. As of now, it's really around the 10 to 11% zone. But of course, if you go to a bank to buy, they also have to make their margin. So probably between maybe 8, 9, 10% thereabout you get. And I also need to say that whatever rate is quoted for you is per annum. So if you buy a 6 months T-bill and the rate is 10%,
it's half of that.
It's half of that.
Okay.
It's really important people are aware of that. And I got this experience where someone said, they've cheated me. But they bought a 6 months T-bill, and it is they thought you get a 10% for the 6 months. It's for the full year. Another simple thing you can also consider is fixed deposit. So instead of next time giving your money to government, you can choose to give your money to the financial institution, let's say a bank. You can walk to, say, for example, Stanbic Bank. You say, okay, I want to have 1,000 cedis, 10,000 cedis, 100,000 cedis. I want to buy a fixed deposit. Usually has similar time or similar duration like the T-bill. You can buy either a 1 month one or a 3 months, 6 months, or even a 1 year fixed deposit. Also, the rate will probably hover around the same treasury bill or even lesser, around the same side. Again, the rate that is quoted for you is per annum. So you need to be really mindful of that. You can do this from many banks. I think all the banks that you walk into, they can buy a fixed deposit for you. Then I know that many people don't have so much money, and so mutual funds or unit trust also offers you an opportunity. Now, what are mutual funds or unit trust? It's simply where you decide to give your money to a fund manager and they invest your money on your behalf.
Okay.
So, for example, where I work, Stanbic Investments, we have mutual funds available. There's also other institutions. If you go to the SEC website, there are a number of institutions there that you can give your money to them. Now, the good thing is that as low as 20 Ghana cedis, you can have an investment to do. And that's why I say that. So, for instance, let's say the person who is the trader, they can choose to save their money for 5 or 4 months, 5 cedis every month. Over 4 months, they get the 20 Ghana cedis, and then they can start investing. For many of these options as well, with as little as 10 Ghana cedis, you can top up. So again, you see for 2 months, you go and add up. You are building your emergency fund, you are building your savings habit. And the good thing is, like I said, there's various types. There's one for short-term people, which we call money market.
Okay.
There's one for medium to long-term, which we call fixed income. There's one that invests in shares. There's one that invests in like a balanced portfolio or balanced selection of securities. And there's one that also invests in real estate.
Okay.
So there's various ones that will speak to the specific need that you have. But for many people, the easiest one is the short-term one or the money market one, because those ones are usually liquid. If you need your money back, because sometimes our money, it doesn't rest. You need an
Before
option.
you know it, you need to cash out and do something else.
Exactly. So most people would consider the money market types, where they invest, say, 100 cedis every single month. They set a standing order on the account. And that's another really important thing. This year, if you want to save well, I think you need to think of systems, structures, rather than rely on only discipline. Because if you set a standing order on your account, every month you're telling your bank, move X amount or 100 cedis from your account to this investment, the bank will do that for you. It gives you the discipline and structure to help you save over time. So yeah, short-term mutual funds are also a really good option for many people to consider.
Okay.
But like I said, like always, please, let whatever you're investing in align with your risk and your goals that you're looking for the year.
All right. Now, in terms of, and I've seen quite a number of the foreign companies,
Yes.
Buying shares
Yes.
in these companies. Is this something that's available in Ghana?
Yeah, I mean, yes. So we have a very a growing Ghana stock exchange. Last year, it did phenomenal. Gave phenomenal returns. But there's a few things. So first, let me define what shares are. Shares is simply where you're a part owner of a company. So a few years ago, MTN listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And so they gave Ghanaians the opportunity to buy parts of MTN as a company. And so we have many, about 36 or 37 companies. Recently, First Atlantic Bank listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And so shares are, yes, they are available even in Ghana.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that shares are long-term investment. Think 5 years, think 10 years, 15 years, 20 years investment. You make money on shares in 2 ways.
Okay.
One, where the share price increases.
Then you
so
sell.
you buy the share for, say, 10 cedis. It moves to, say, 12 cedis. There's what we call capital gains. So 12, the 2 cedi difference. Sometimes companies, after making profit, say that let me pay part of the profits back to the shareholders. We call those ones dividends. Exactly. So they can pay those ones to you. Again, it's really important to know that share prices can either move up or down. So same way I said that the 10 cedi can become 12 cedis.
Same way it can
the
become
10
2
cedi can become 8 cedis. So you need to have a bit of risk appetite if you want to invest in shares. Assuming you want to invest in shares, how do you go about it? First, you need to speak to a licensed broker. How do you find them? You can simply go to the Ghana Stock Exchange website and you look for the licensed daily members. So these are mostly banks. So SBG Brokerage, Letter Bank Brokerage, IC Security, there are many of them. They can buy these things. You create an account and then you can start trading on for you. But I also know that there are now apps that you can use to buy shares domestically and also even foreign shares as well.
Yes, the foreign share option is what I wanted to ask on, because it seems it's a great opportunity for a lot of people to make money.
Yes.
And the dividends for Apple and all these other large companies seem to pay out quite a bit. And their share prices really rise over the last few years. Now, how can I say tap into that market? Is it something that's doable in Ghana?
Yeah, it's doable. In fact, there are fund management institutions in Ghana that offer you mutual funds that have foreign stocks embedded in them.
Okay.
So for example, let's say at Sims we have Melville Douglas, which has foreign equity. I know, for example, Blackstar, they have some options that have foreign currency in them. I know EDC also has something like that. So there are many fund management institutions that offer you that opportunity. But let me just throw this caution in there, that when it comes to foreign investment, and also particularly shares, their markets are very efficient. A few days ago, our Donald Trump, a few comments here and there, and then the market would react. Sometimes the market will react negatively to some of the sentiment. And oftentimes as well, when there's so much uncertainty globally, it affects the values of those things, of those markets. So yes, there are good opportunities, both using apps like Bamboo, for instance, and some other apps. But I think it's really important that people align those things with their goals really, really well before they think of some of these things. But of course, you can always speak to a licensed advisor for them to guide you, because you can buy some shares and it will never grow in value.
Okay. Now, celebrating small financial wins.
Yep.
Is that even advisable? Like, because you've chalked small pay, you want to now do something to celebrate. Doesn't celebration lead into impulse buying? Why should we celebrate our financial wins?
I think it's really important because, first of all, we work so hard. And I tell people that, in fact, every young person has to have 5 goals. And I talk about children's education, retirement, and so what have you. I also talk about enjoyment.
Very necessary.
Very necessary. So, in fact, last year what I did was that every month I committed an amount to the December
enjoyment.
Enjoyment. So if maybe you can say to yourself, okay, this year or previously, I've never invested before. What I can do every month is 50 cedis. When I hit my first 500 cedis, I would spend 20 cedis or 50 cedis out of it. Or when I hit my first 1,000 or my first 10,000, I think it gives you that motivation that, okay, Charlie, I'm doing something right. So yes, celebrating, I don't say not so small wins, because for somebody, if they hit 500,000 cedis, it's small wins. But for somebody, 500 cedis is their small wins. So whatever you measure as your small wins, whenever you get to it, something small. Again, the enjoyment shouldn't derail your goals. So if it means that the entire money you've saved up for the 10 months, isn't that for the enjoyment, then that really doesn't serve a purpose. But of course, if it means that taking part of it to do something for yourself, absolutely, I recommend that for everybody. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Now, what's the best financial decision you've ever taken?
Yeah. So I always tell people this, the financial advice I got first was pay yourself first. And that's why I tell people it's paying myself first. And I think I mentioned this before. You know, in math, there's almighty formula, something like I've forgotten the formula. But I always tell people that in personal finance, my almighty formula is that your income minus your savings should be equal to your expenses. Your income minus your savings should be equal to your expenses. So I take my savings first, and that's paying myself first. And so every month, like I said, there's a standing order, X amount will move from my account. And what that has done for me is that I tend to adjust with whatever is left to manage. Because in times past where I tried to do savings minus expenses, I just have to laugh. There's nothing left. So it's really important that people get to save first before they think of expenses.
The one thing people can do today to make healthier financial decisions.
Yeah. One thing you can do today, like I said, awareness, and start tracking your expenses. So again, I always say that if you do not know where your money is going to, you can't make corrective action. So when it comes to personal finances, 4 key questions. How much do you make? How much do you save? How much do you spend? And how you can improve.
Okay. How much do you make?
How much do you save? How much do you spend?
And how you
can improve.
Okay.
And so to make the improvement, many people know how much they make. people know how much they spend sometimes, or they save sometimes. The expenditure bit, tracking it, is where you can make the first progress from. And so if you want to make any healthier habit, like I've spoken about awareness already, it's about tracking where your money is going to. Then you can take corrective action. Hey, this month I spent so much on food, or what can I do differently next month? And that's how you can make a change or a healthier habit in future.
I love it. Now getting into a question before we come back and wrap up. AJ, I need some advice, and thank you for bringing Mr. Bredu onto the show. My phone got stolen on my way home from work, and I need a replacement, or preferably an update. My rent is also due next month. Will it be a good decision to buy a new phone instantly for my rent savings, or should I just go for some loan amount and settle both necessities? Calvin from East Legon.
Wow. Kevin, that's a very tough question, because I don't know your
two needs. Only one budget.
So you see, we have something we call scale of preference. This may sound some way. I'll choose sleep over not having somewhere to sleep, but having a phone. Because you can get the phone, your rent is due, and you've been packed out. The question is, are you going to sleep on your phone? So scale of preference.
But then again, the phone too could help you get more money to pay your rent.
So for instance, if instead of getting the latest iPhone, for instance, can you get a cheaper version that probably still has the WhatsApp, still has everything that you can do without? Maybe 1,000 cities can help you do that. iPhone's probably in the tens of thousands. And so once I think that the rent is much more urgent, so you have something we call urgent, important. Some things are important but not urgent. But I think the rent is both urgent and important. So if that's how I would rate it. I'd rather focus on paying my rent. Unfortunately, in Ghana, to pay 2 years in advance and something like that. And so I'd rather focus on that first, get maybe a yam or something like that, and then I can focus on getting the phone I'm looking for in future.
Now, accountability, one of the biggest problems when you're trying to stay on the straight and narrow.
Yes.
How can people build or stay accountable to their financial goals in 2026?
I think the first thing is getting somebody that you trust to be accountable to. So, for instance, it could be your partner, it could be your best friend, it could be somebody. It shouldn't be somebody that if you tell them your finances, the following day they have the worst need in the entire world. It needs somebody that you actually trust. Sometimes you have to segment your friend groups. This friend is somebody that if I tell them my finances, they can give me some help as well. Somebody specific, if I tell my finances, the following day say we should go to this place to go and chill here and there. Segment your friends. So get accountability partners. Find groups that are also alike. Savings group that, not necessarily an investment group, a savings group, people that you are like-minded. This year, for example, I'm running the 1 million club where we are holding each other accountable to achieving our 1 million goal, for instance.
In a year?
No, for the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh, okay.
The next 5 to 10 years. Because for some people, the 1 million may not be realistic. Or for many of us on the group, 1 million will not be realistic
in a year.
So we are holding ourselves accountable for the next year and up to 5 years. But also regular reviews and regular check-ins. Sometimes I would tell people that you need to be honest with yourself. That this thing that I'm doing this year, I wanted to get healthy. I want to do this. I wanted to save more. I'm not doing it. So regular check-ins with the person, regular check-ins with yourself, and then you can make some progress on that side as well. Yeah.
I like that. So finally, there's a lot of social groups that have been popping up a lot on social media. You'd see bring 2,000 and get 40,000. You bring 100, get what as an investment advisor. What are your views on these things? Is it worth pursuing?
So a few things. It depends on who you are doing with. So AJ, if I'm doing it with just you and maybe somebody I trust, 3 people, of course I can do that. And in those times as well, I always tell people that be the first to take. Because if you take that money, you can invest that money. For example, let's say AJ, I, and let's say Dolores, who's also listening, by the way. AJ, just side note, she's a huge fan. She's my niece.
Oh, amazing.
She's a huge fan of yours.
Hi, Dolores.
She's a huge fan of yours. So the three of us are doing a Susu group, for instance, 2,000 per month. I trust Dolores, I trust you, AJ, and I trust myself. So 2,000, 6,000, I save that one. I'm the first to take. But if it's on social media, people you don't know, you don't, that one, please, I wouldn't recommend. I'd rather you put your money into an investment account, which is licensed, which is regulated, than doing those if you don't trust the people. Because there's so many stories that people have gone some of these things.
Yes, and someone used their money to run away to Canada.
So it's really important that you trust the people, and I think that's how to go. I'd rather invest those monies if you don't trust the people than join a group that you're not comfortable.
So you can invest with as little as
20
20 cities.
When it comes to Stanbic investment, like I said, we have a mutual fund that 20 cities you can start investing with.
Wow.
So I always tell people you don't need them to start investing.
So okay, break it down for those who don't know.
Yes.
In terms of like say mutual funds, like
Yes.
Okay, I put in 20 cities
Yes.
or let's use 100 cities to a
Yes.
flat rate.
Yeah.
How do you generate income?
Returns.
How much money are you expected to, like, how does it work?
Good. Okay. So AJ, assuming you had 100 cities and you wanted to buy a treasury bill,
Yes.
you probably get maybe 3 or 4%.
Okay.
Now let's take 1,000 AJs who all have 100 cities each. They come together and that number becomes 100,000 cities. Now they give that 100,000 cities to say Stanbic Investment. Now Stanbic Investment wants to buy the same treasury bill, for instance. This time, when they go to the bank, they say that I don't have 10, I have 100,000. Instead of 4%, give me 6%. So that's the whole concept about mutual funds. People come together, pool their resources, give it to the fund manager, and they invest on your behalf. Now, like I was saying, every mutual fund has its specific mandate. So, for instance, the money market fund, let me use Stanbic Cash Trust as an example. It's a money market fund. We invest in fixed deposits, for instance. So we get money, then we invest in fixed deposits on your behalf. The benefit to you is that you do not have to go to the bank to buy the fixed deposit directly. You have the flexibility of using 20 cities to invest. People are bringing 100,000. Somebody's bringing $1 million. All of you, however, are earning the same returns. Now, what we do is that we get the money, we buy the fixed deposit, and then we accrue the interest on a daily basis. So once we accrue the interest, we also pass the interest back to you as the investor. And so on a daily basis, you get to see your 20 cities become 20 cities 1 peso, 20 cities 2 pesos, like that. So it grows over time. Again, the flexibility is that after 3 months, after 1 week, after any time, you can, if you accumulated 10 cities, you can top up with the 10 cities. You need money after 3 weeks. You want to withdraw part of it, you can withdraw part of it. And so I always say that mutual funds, it's really the bedrock for many people who want to enter investment. Of course, we've had time past where things don't go well with the market, and haircut and everything like that. But I always tell people that I appreciate that there's risk involved. However, you are taking some risk to get a reward. And that's how I always tell people that mutual funds, really great way, 20 CDs, you can get some really good returns.
I like that. Well, you know what to do. I'll end it with you giving out your number for those that maybe want to reach out and have further conversations on how they can grow their money.
So firstly, if you want to reach out, you can always reach out to us. You come to Stanbic Investment on the 4th floor of Stanbic Heights building, and you get to see, I have a team of investment advisors. So sometimes if all the calls come to me, it becomes very overwhelming. So we have a team of investment advisors that can help you to make progress when it comes to your investment decisions. If you want to reach out to me personally, I prefer emails.
Okay.
So it's askdesmondbredu@gmail.com.
Okay.
So you're asking me something, askdesmondbredu@gmail.com. Also, you can reach out to me via social media, particularly X or Twitter. I'm very active there at Desmond Bredu. Reach out to me and then we'll be able to engage. But you can always walk to the 4th floor of Stanbic Heights building or any Stanbic branch, and then they'll get in touch. They'll send us the information and we'll get in touch with you.
I love that. Desmond, always a pleasure having you here. Thank you for giving us the reset mindset we need to be able to get into our finances and everything else inclusive. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, AJ. Really appreciate it.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, AJ.
Getting into more music now. Moving on to Thames. This is Free Mind right here on 3 Lounge.